Metabolism has become my area of expertise, experimentation, and study. I've become a mad scientist about metabolism over the past 5 years because I've got to experience firsthand how metabolism equals health, and if you don't focus on your metabolism, you might lose somebody close to you. I have a love story about metabolism that I love to share with you because it'll help in getting you to understand what metabolism truly is and help you understand how powerful, just what I taught you right now, the fast metabolism diet. It's simple, right? Is it simple? Yeah. Do you feel like you could possibly pull that off? Okay, good. So I want to share the story, but there's really no better person to tell it with me than my beautiful wife. So would you like to meet her? Yeah? Can I bring her up? Baby, come on up. Yeah. Oh, my baby. Have a seat, sweetheart. Have a seat. Oh, this is fabulous. So, a little bit. You know, when I met her, it's one of those circumstances in my life where I just wasn't really into relationships, and then I met her, and we had one of those connections where I couldn't get enough of her. I wanted to spend every single minute that I breathed with her, and I did. And you know what the best part about it? She didn't get annoyed. And so after 3 weeks, I realized this is my soulmate. I was so lucky she felt the same way. So I decided, let's plan our wedding. How about that? Because, she said, I'm madly in love with you. I said, so am I. Best person, best friend material, soulmate, everything right here. And then she had to break something to me. Because I was surprised she didn't just say yes. She had to break something to me.
Well, it was 3 whole weeks.
She said it was 3 whole weeks. Yeah, let me give you a mic. Yeah, it was 3 weeks of meeting her. But when you know, you know. Those of you who have experienced that, you know, right? So she had to break something to me. I don't really understand all the medical jargon, but she said that, are you sure you want to do this with me? Because I didn't tell you this yet, but I have an autoimmune disease called lupus. And what happens with lupus and what the doctors told her is that she wouldn't live a long life, probably die by mid-40s, 50s. And then I'd probably have to start taking care of her because she wouldn't be able to move very easily. And she'd get very weak and sick. And that was going to happen pretty soon, maybe in just a couple more years. And we wouldn't be able to have children. Because with lupus, childbirth can kill you. It often does. When she told me that, inside my head I was going, no! Not again. I lost my best friend. And I finally get a relationship that opens me and makes me so alive. And I find out that she's going to go too. I had to make a decision. And that was to love and face possibly the worst pain I've ever faced in my life, or live the rest of my life possibly regretting the best thing that could ever happen to me. And so I said, in my head, I was talking to myself, trying to find answers. And I said, you know what, fine. If this is the way it's going to be, then I'm going to treasure every moment I possibly can with her. If it's a short life with her, I'm going to make it the best damn life she's ever had. So, we start our wedding plans. And the first thing she says to me is, Tommy, I want to look hot. All right, guys. This might sound like a setup. What am I supposed to say? If I say, oh yeah, I can help you with that, what is that implying?
I never even knew I was going to get to have a wedding. I never planned for a happy ending or any of that. I'm a medical doctor, and that was my goal. I just want to be a doctor and get to do something I love for however much time I have. I never thought about, finding a prince and, the only white dress or white anything I thought of was a white coat. So when suddenly I was getting married, it was like, whoa, oh my God, I got to wear a wedding dress. And, he's America's #1 rapid fat loss expert. But when I was dating him and in love with him, I didn't have a fast metabolism, so I got my chunkiest while dating someone who looked like this.
We'll see. Put up the slide, Shauna. Go ahead, put up the slide, please.
Wait, what?
All right, hold on. We'll let them be the judge of that. All right, so this is Brooke when I met her. I fell in love with her. Now that guy, you can see I've transformed a lot, all right? Did you notice the color of those flax seeds, right? I switched to the golden flax seeds, and this is what happened.
He's just a friend.
It's our good friend Michael, So that was her, but this is what happened. I said, all right, fine. You want a freaking hot body? You married the right guy. So I put her on a program that I had. I later called it the Dream Body in 90 Days because I named it after her because it was designed to give her dream body, and that's kind of what I was doing at the time, just helping guys and girls get their dream bodies in a very short period of time. So I was like, fine, let's just put you on that. And in the Dream Body program, it's in 90 days. All it is just very smart exercise, about an hour a day, and it involved the fast metabolism diet built into it, with a few more tweaks so that we could get to enhance and accelerate the results that we want. But fast metabolism diet. Can I show you what we look like for our wedding? Yeah. All right, here we go. Put up the slides. In just 90 days, baby! Look at that. I decided to do it too. I did it too. I was like, yeah, if you're going to get hot, I'm going to get hot too, right? There we go.
In that first picture, I was working out 2 hours a day, too. That wasn't just me not doing anything. That was as good as I could get. And if I stopped working out that much, then, yeah.
Yeah, she was working out way too much, and she was eating too little, right? But we fixed all of that. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. So that was when we figured out that metabolism equals health. And here's why, because here's what happened. So we're so excited. We got these great pictures. Everybody is like, whoa, what have you guys been doing? Like, well, this is what I do. So we get back, and we're starting our life together. And she's got to go get her checkup for lupus, right? You got your checkup. What was that like?
With a disease like mine, I had very severe disease inside. Kidney failure that I would treat it with medication. I had blood clots, so I had to take injections of blood thinners every day, or I'd have stroke or an embolism. So I had to be monitored closely. So you get blood work every 2 months or so, just to check in, make sure everything's okay. And so I went to get my blood work after our wedding. And before I did, I'd already decided that I was going to eat that way forever, not just because I looked like that. I mean, I was very happy with that. But because I felt the best I'd ever felt. I had all this energy, and I felt really great, no more aches and pains. So I was already set. But I went to my doctor, and it was a new doctor because we had just moved to California. And he called me and said, I don't really understand these results here. I see you have a mild elevation in blood clots, which I wouldn't even treat if you didn't tell me you had symptoms, and all the lupus tests are negative. So,
hold on. Thank you.
So this is weird, and all we could think of is it was an error in the test, because I'd had lupus in 16, and at the time I was 28, so there was, lupus doesn't go away. One thing I learned when I went to medical school is I was effed. Life was not going to be good. But for some reason they were better. So they said, let's just retest them in another couple months and see what happens. So retested them again in a couple months. All tests were negative. There was no evidence of any disease. And not only that, my genetically high cholesterol was low. My HDL doubled. My heart rate was out of an athlete. My blood pressure was low, which with kidney disease had been super high. I looked like some kind of athlete. And after a year of this, my rheumatologist fired me. Because he said, listen, he said to the medical student, this woman allegedly has lupus. I've never seen anybody this healthy in my office. He goes, if you ever need someone, look me up. But it was gone. And that was 8 years ago.
It was 8 years ago.
7 years ago.
Well, check this out.
Okay.
So we didn't jump to the conclusion that we didn't cure anything. We were just,
was incurable.
this is awesome. It's an incurable disease. Yeah. It's an incurable disease. And so, but we were like, this is great. This is great. You're doing good. There's nothing to worry about. It's not like I thought we're off scot-free. Hey, listen, you got lupus. I was married to a woman with lupus. I knew what I was getting into. And I knew that every single day that went by was one day less that I had with her. Okay, so that's what was going on with me. And I realized that. But then she said something that made me poop my pants. She said,
Tommy, I want a baby.
we just got you healthier than you've ever been. Why do you want to kill yourself? And we were all, the whole family was freaking out. I mean, just imagine what her parents went through, right? Because she had lupus from an early age. So imagine being the parents of a child with lupus when you're told that your child is probably going to die before you. So her parents were freaking like, whoa. Her mom was like, I'll carry the baby. I was like, I don't know about that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, her mom's name is Gemma. Gina, don't get me wrong. You're a very attractive woman. But this would just make things really awkward. But then I learned that you can have the baby without having to do, So. You know what? Anyway, put up the slide, Shauna. Brooke is such a freaking warrior. She's a warrior to everything. She said, you know what? F it. I'm going to freaking do it. We're going to do it.
I'd already been off medications for a year. No sign of disease coming back. I was healthy. Why not go for it?
So we had a meeting. We had a meeting about this on a red couch.
Oh, no.
And
oh, no, you didn't.
Not too long after that, I knocked her up. Now, this is some serious stuff. Any other patient that has lupus, any day could be the day they die. So we had to go to this high-risk OB, and I remember going with you.
The doctors were freaked out because they said, okay, you're in this remission, which is what we call it when people's disease symptoms seem to be stable, even though I had no disease symptoms. They said, but lupus will come back when you're pregnant. And you're going to get sick again. The baby could get heart block. You could end up having a stroke because pregnancy also increases blood clots, and I had that. So, yeah, they were all ready for it to go bad. So they sent me to the high-risk OB. High-risk OB sent me back. She said, I've done all the tests. This woman's extraordinarily healthy. I don't know what you guys want me to do. So the cool thing was my OB was so freaked out because having a patient with lupus who's pregnant is really freaky because, anything could go wrong. Malpractice has got to be covered. So she gave me ultrasounds like every 3 weeks to check on the baby. So it was so great because I got to see the baby every 3 weeks.
Yep, I went with her. Yeah, it was great.
And then they said, okay, I didn't get sick when I was pregnant. I was great. I was working out. I felt good. They said, okay, after you give birth, your immune system's going to tank and you're going to get extremely sick, and that's when it's going to happen.
So she gave birth, though, and we had Solomon. So if you see that little boy dancing over, that's my son. That was my first son. All right? Sorry to spoil the ending. But here's the thing. So the whole time she's eating a fast metabolism diet. The whole time. Not knowing that this has anything to do with her lupus. But we had the kid, and then check this out. So what happens after you have a kid? What happens to your metabolism? Up or down? What happens to your body weight? Right? I know so many women, it's still a decade, and they still haven't been able to take the weight off that they gained during pregnancy. Well, this is what happened to her. Watch this. Slide up, please, Shauna. Or, sorry, Ziggy. In 9 days, she got right back to where she started. 9 days! She gained like 30 pounds and then all gone in 9 days. I mean, is that a fast metabolism or what? You know, it's ridiculous. So that's when we woke up. We're like, okay, maybe this metabolism thing has something to do with health. because now what's your blood work doing? She went to get her lupus thing checked again. Zero, none. There's no trace. And you know, you want to know what the ultimate proof that there's no disease? Her insurance premium dropped right down to mine. She was an $800 a month insurance premium. Now she's like $120, like the same as what I pay at Kaiser Permanente. It's the same. Like that's how you know. If the insurance companies aren't going to bill your butt, you're not sick. You get right? Right? So check it out. So she's like, all right, yeah, look at me, 9 days, I'm all sexy. I mean, she's sexy, isn't she, right? Then she's like, hey, I want to get toned. So I said that metabolism also has to do with helping you get toned and helping you build muscle, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I got a toning program for you. It'd be perfect. I put her on a 21-day swimsuit ready body program, all right? Because she wanted to get toned fast, and she's already skinny, so like, great. So here's what happened. I put her on a 21-day program, and the 21-day program has, guess what? What kind of diet plugged into it? Fast metabolism diet. That's right. Bam! Look at that, baby. That's how women, that's what you look like when you build muscle and you get toned. There she's holding her baby, right? Cool stuff, right? How many would love to learn how to do that? Yeah. Easily.